everybody, it's me, Zach, and welcome back to my channel. Hey everybody, hi, hello! How are you doing? I hope you're doing so well. I am here and I'm existing. I was like, I don't know that I really thought out what I was gonna say when I got this started, and I just went into my normal, like, hi, hello, how are you doing? We're back again! And I'm like, oh, what was I supposed to say next? But anyways, today I just wanted to check in with you all. One, because my posting schedule is, well, I don't normally have a schedule, but also like I do usually post far more regularly than I have been. And you know what? I appreciate you all showing up when I do post. So let me just say that. And also, Amberlynn hasn't been posting a lot, which isn't to say that I wouldn't be posting if she was posting more. I think there have been all kinds of times where Amberlynn has gone through kind of like a lull in posting where she is not like putting as much content up, and I always find other things to talk about. But I think her lack of posting coupled with just like my general depression lately and like things happening in my life has led to me not posting as much in general. So we're still working on it. I'm still here. And today we are going to talk about what Amberlynn has been up to on the internet, which is mostly it's mostly her posting a lot on her Instagram stories, answering questions, leaving things open for people to ask her questions, which is interesting because I think we're at like now nearly 2 weeks. Let me just go look at the last time that she posted. It's been a long time, but at some point during her time away, she had posted also a Q&A thing for her to film a Q&A with Tommy Salami, and they just like never did. She's also posted other like Q&As on this Instagram situation type of deal where she's also just gone on to not answer them. And then it's like the past 3 days, 2 to 3 days, she's like, oh, I'm gonna answer all the questions. But we are at 11 days at the time of filming from the last time that she posted a video. And it was the video where she went on a double date with Tommy and Alexis, and they stayed in a hotel, and we're gonna get into some of that because some of these Q&A questions were about that. So it's been a while since she's posted to the place where she actually makes money, because you know, I think it's possible to make money off of Instagram. I don't think she's making money on Instagram by answering all of these questions. I think she also posted to the TikTok too, so let me go get that just to... Yeah. Now, I didn't ask for all this to pop up and start playing. I always forget that when you open TikTok, it just automatically starts playing the whatever TikTok is at the top of your For You page. Yeah, she has posted a little bit on TikTok. I think it's more of just like the same, like her and Tommy posters, pictures, situations. But then there is one, and I'm probably not going to actually play it, but maybe I'll put a screenshot up because it's mostly just like a text paragraph of things that that she's thinking or whatever. Let me just show you the picture. Oh my God, Zach, I'm really struggling here today. So the caption says it's a quotation, like she's quoting people in the comments or something. And it says, I don't understand why Amberlynn Reid isn't posting on YouTube even though thousands of people have harassed her and bullied her daily for 11 years now. Which I don't know, like I do understand why she might need breaks and things like that. I would be curious if what in particular is happening right now that is making her feel bullied, that's making her not want to come to the internet. Outside of like the most recent posts she's had have been posts of her and Tommy Salami, you know? And so I imagine it has some stuff to do with that. I think some of it has to do with Miss Alexis, so we can talk a little bit about that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I just, it's just interesting to me that she can post some places on the internet and feel just fine, but she can't post on YouTube. And also, it's her prerogative if she doesn't want to post on YouTube. I mean, literally, I'm feeling so empathetic towards her right now when it comes to not showing up to work. I just also think it's one of those things that, like, it's totally fine to not come on and not be around and things like that, but, like, if I remember correctly from all the screenshots I took, she also talks about in some of the questions about how like she has to make money. Everybody has to make money. So of course she's gonna post on YouTube when she needs to make money. And it's just like, I don't know. And she seems to be like obtuse or purposely oblivious to like what the real question is half the time when she's answering these things. And it just really feels like she doesn't understand why people are like, where are you going? How can you just disappear? We're at nearly 2 weeks. In 3 more days, it will have been 2 weeks since she posted on the place that is her job and earns her money. And so I think that that's usually where people are coming from, right? Like, most people don't get that luxury or have to like save up a lot of PTO time or make sure that they have enough vacation time to take 2 weeks off from a job. And so like, I think that's where people are coming from. Like I said, certainly I can empathize with her, and certainly she's pushed through in different times for less. Probably, you know what I'm saying? Like less, like I can't imagine that right now she's getting any more hate than she has at worse times in her life, you know? So, I don't know. Let me stop blabbing. What I'm gonna do today, normally I did go through and individually screenshot a whole bunch of things from her stories. But typically, like, I try to, I don't know, not necessarily, like, screenshot every single one, because my goal is to like, you know, only bring the important stuff to you. But I was kind of like out and about and doing things this weekend, so I wasn't paying attention super closely. There were a few that I was like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna have anything to say about this, but I tried to take as many as I could, and what I'm gonna do is just screen record my phone as I read through it, and hopefully then I don't have to like individually go and insert every single like screenshot into this video, and it's more concise and cohesive for you all. And I also, you know, planning on probably doing some rambling today. So if anything, maybe this is one of those situation type of deals where, you know, like Amberlynn used to, this has been many years since she did this, but sometimes she would just like film the most mundane, well, that's still her videos, but like she would purposely just like record herself talking about like nothing, or like doing something that's like mundane and doing nothing, and like she would be like, this is white noise for the background. And so maybe today I'll just be some white noise for your background. Maybe I'm just some white noise for you to fall asleep to. You know, now that I am like sleeping alone, I have been falling asleep to YouTube more often. I've been putting stuff on to fall asleep to. So maybe this is it for you. Maybe you're gonna curl up in bed and listen to Zach read all of these little stories from Amberlynn's Instagram and give my 2 cents. All right, so I guess to get started, let's start with how she tried a new format for this weekend. Well, at least initially. She eventually gave up on it, but she tried a new format where she noted to people that they should only send her questions if they didn't want their username being shown, okay? And when I saw her say this, I was like, oh, she is fully trying to beat like the conspiracy theories that she's out here asking herself her own questions. And I have to say, like, I've never really believed that she was doing it. It certainly is something you can do. Like, you certainly can, like, type your own questions into your own, like, question prompt and use them on your stories and stuff like that. But I honestly really do believe that most of the stuff she answers is stuff that she sent by people on the internet. So I've never really had an issue with that, but I think this is her way or attempt at like trying to resolve some of that. So just keep that in mind. You're gonna see that when it pops up, it'll show the whole username and everything, because she basically, what she did is she went in and took screenshots of how the questions show up for you as the Instagram user on the other end of the questions, and then added them to her stories and responded to them that way, which does sound like an incredibly annoying process. And so I think she eventually says like, I'm no longer doing that because it just took too much work, which I don't know, too much work is probably not the right way to say it, but it certainly does sound like an annoying process. I guess I'll say that for her. To her credit, it sounds like really annoying as a concept. So Anyways, the first one I have, or the first one I screenshotted, she said, answered a question from somebody that said, what's going on with you and your mom? And you do need some level of context for this. In general, certainly, I can't say I've never done it. There was certainly a time on my channel where I did, look at screenshots that people would send me from Amberlynn's personal Facebook or, side characters' personal Facebook accounts and things like that. And I did eventually stop doing that, especially for, the side character content, because despite, in a lot of those cases, all of that information being public, it also just kind of seemed like probably most of those people did not post those things, with the intent for Amberlynn Reid's audience to, view them, read them, consume them. And yes, certainly those people could put their accounts on private, but at a certain point, I decided I was mostly just going to focus on Amberlynn's own, content that she puts on her own social media, if that makes sense. But because Amberlynn's addressing it here, and also I got the last live stream I did on Twitch, so many people were asking me about it and asking my thoughts about it. What you basically need to know is that Amberlynn publicly commented on Mama Lynn's Facebook somewhere and said, please call me, or something along those lines. And then people were looking and noticed that Mama Lynn was not friends with Amberlynn on Facebook. And then mass speculation just began, people were speculating that Amberlynn was stranded in Wisconsin and Mama Lynn was never going to come pick her back up and she had no way of getting back to Oklahoma. I even saw in some places on the internet people were speculating that things about Mama Lynn's sobriety and stuff like that. It was just a lot of speculation, which is another reason that I was I don't want to touch this too much because we're really grasping at straws here because it's limited information from a small tiny comment that Amberlynn left on her mom's Facebook somewhere, right? And not to say that that speculation can't be true or anything. I was just we really don't know a whole lot. What I will say about all of this is that I think when Amberlynn goes on these big long hiatuses from posting, I think she kind of, unfortunately, sets herself up for some of this. Not to say she's to blame for it, but because she's not posting regularly and people don't have her content to dissect, they look for things to dissect, if that makes sense. I've seen this just happen a lot on Amberlynn's channel, and I don't think it necessarily makes it okay or bad. I'm not trying to make a value judgment about it, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm not passing any kind of judgment on people who are looking at public Facebook posts from Mama Lynn, right? But all of this to say is when Amberlynn's not giving them anything to watch herself, then they go out and find things to talk about. And for me, that's just not of interest to me, but I understand the mindset behind the people who do it and the people who like to talk about it. I mean, to Amberlynn's credit, she's created a community that is interested in the most minute thing that she does on the internet, right? So I don't know. I think it's good and bad for her. But anyways, Amberlynn did respond to this and she said, I'm glad this was asked because so many of you are wild for this. I told my mom, call me please, love you, while she was at work, which is a very normal statement that daughters make, but I stupidly did it publicly, so people now think there's a falling out with me and my mom. No, sorry. The drama that was created due to that by haters caused me to just remove her from Facebook so no one would find me on there because my Facebook is private for a reason. But then people noticed that too and thought it was because my mom hates me now. A whole ass untrue storyline was created by strangers due to me just saying, call me love you to my mom, which normally her and I say privately to one another at least a few times a month, LMAO. Which is also just interesting because, why are you posting that on your mom's Facebook? I think that's honestly, I think the reason that people thought it was a weird comment to make, right? Yeah, I think that's a normal thing that children say to their parents. I've probably texted my mom and said, love you, call me, And I don't know that I've ever, been let me go to my mom's Facebook page and tell her that I love her and ask her to call me. I don't know. So I think that's where the weirdness comes from, like where people are like, this is an odd thing. It's odd that they're no longer friends on Facebook, this, that, the other. But here we are. I also agree to some extent with Amberlynn that like the speculation surrounding all of that was like a little much. Like you are a little bit grasping at straws there. Then somebody said, are you okay? I miss your videos. And she said, yes, I'm okay. Just needed some alone time without constant social media posting. So I guess that means she must be ready to come back to YouTube soon because her alone time hasn't included not constantly posting on Instagram, you know? Her alone time hasn't included not posting on TikTok. Her alone time is just included not posting on YouTube. Another person said, what's yours and Tommy's couple name? The dynamic duo should be named. Dynamic duo feels like a lot to call them, considering that, like, there's not a lot about Amberlynn that's particularly dynamic if you think about what that word means. But anyways, Amberlynn's response was Tom and Cherry. Which is just, she said, we're really leaning into the internet's nicknames for us. Great, stunning. Somebody said, girl, your mom obviously blocked your number, so you reached out via Facebook. And Amberlynn said, no. Last time my mom and I texted or called each other using our numbers was June 2023. We talk/video daily using Facebook Messenger. Again, you're just creating untrue storylines. And sure, maybe that's true, but why the fuck? like who's out here? I don't know. Like, what in the boomer nonsense is only communicating with your child? Actually, that doesn't even really feel like boomer behavior, if we're being honest. And I think my mom is actually like Gen X, maybe. I don't actually know what generation she's a part of. That's maybe my bad as a child. But like, truly, honestly here, y'all, like, I cannot imagine my mom even being able to figure out how Facebook Messenger works, let alone use it to call me and or like video chat me daily. And also, even then, if you're saying that you use Facebook Messenger to do that, then why are you commenting on her public Facebook account telling her to call you? Why not just message her through the Messenger app? Listen, making sense out of nonsense. Let Amber have like the most unorthodox way of communicating regularly with her mom. And you know what? I say that and there's gonna be all kinds of people in the comments that are like, I actually only communicate with my parents, which is fine. It's fine. Listen, it's okay. It's all right. Also, speaking of parents, my mom for Christmas last year got me this big ass cup. She messaged Noel for ideas for Christmas for me, and he's like, "Oh, Zach really likes to drink out of big mugs," and she said, "I'm gonna get you a huge one." I will let you know that it's not completely full of coffee, but I am drinking coffee out of it at almost 4 p.m. because, well, I'm tired. I'm tired and I don't want to nap and I want to go to bed at a normal time. And so I'm like, if I can just push through this like mid-afternoon slump and get to the evening, then you can go to bed at a normal time. So that's the hopes. Anyways, that is besides the fucking point. Let's keep going. Somebody said, what's your current hyperfixation? And she said, these candies, which they're fucking Tootsie Rolls. Imagine being hyperfixated on a candy that most people only eat when they attend small town 4th of July parades. or go trick-or-treating in small towns. Like, Tootsie Rolls, okay. Or this activity, which is a crossword, a word search, not a crossword even, a word search, and then, or her, and it's a picture of her and Tommy Pickles. Another person said, why do you keep putting up these question boxes and not sharing the answers? So I alluded to that. I alluded to the fact that people, she had already put these up before and never answered them, and she said, honestly, I'd get distracted and then forget that I ever posted it. which sounds about right, not surprising. Somebody said, would you consider going back on Ozempic? And she said, absolutely, or Mounjaro, which is just fascinating because I think one of the last times she even talked about weight loss on her channel, she was talking about quitting semaglutide because it wasn't working, even though she had actually lost weight using it, and then when she stopped using it, she gained weight, just like Amberlynn logic. It makes a lot of sense. She somehow finds a way to make 2 + 3 equal 8. It makes no sense at all, actually. She answered a question that said, who did Alexis apologize first, you or Tommy? And her response was, both of us at the same time, in person too, which was a lot more genuine than doing it over text. My thoughts are, did y'all apologize to Alexis? I'm curious if this was like a one-sided apology or not. I would say from an outsider looking in at the relationship, they both did some fucked up things to each other, if we're being honest. I would hope that Alexis also got an apology, but also I'm not overly invested in Alexis's feelings, to be quite honest with you. Couldn't give a shit. Somebody else said, why are you happily sharing people's usernames? Girl, that's wild and extra for no reason, which I disagree with. I understood exactly why she was doing it the second she did it. But Amberlynn said, I made sure to say that I'll be sharing usernames, so if you're sending something, that's a possibility. But it's because I constantly get called a liar and told that I send myself questions. Totally not true. Okay, girl, you all right? What's crazy is there's like a stop sign right there, right outside my building. And so I'm like, girl, you just running that stop sign anyways. She said, I've never sent myself a question. You guys supply me with plenty of questions to keep us all entertained. Another person said, I love how wild people are getting over a Facebook comment. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji. The obsession, baby. The obsession. I guess it is giving a little bit of obsession. She said, it's genuinely so absurd. You'd think I was making it up if I told you without proof. I can see where the obsession or feeling like it's a little bit absurd comes in, because it really was grasping at straws a little bit, some of the places that I saw the speculation go to, I was like, let's slow it down for a second. Is it fair to think that maybe something happened in their relationship since they were no longer friends on Facebook? Absolutely. I think that's fair. But some of the other things, in particular, I saw lots of commentary on how Amberlynn probably messed up Mama Lynn's sobriety and stuff like that. And in general, especially without any proof or evidence, I think it's so risky to be speculating on people's sobriety like that. I watch Peter Mon a lot, and he talks a lot about how questioning people's sobriety can put them at risk. It can put them in a not safe space. And so I just think that is probably where it went a little too far for me personally. There's a lot of these posts that happen to be about Mr. Snowflake, which I think, just for the record, I haven't watched any of his recent content. A lot of people have asked me to watch it or asked if I have watched it. I know he's put out some videos about Tommy in particular, and kind of doing a deeper dive into what feederism is and what it looks like and what kinds of things Tommy has done that is reflective of being a part of the feederism community and the feederism kink. And so I know there's a lot coming out from him right now about all of that, and I'm guessing she probably feels pressed about it because she was willing to respond to a lot of questions about Mr. Snowflake. So this one said, please sue Snowflakes. He's a narc criminal, which is interesting. I'm unclear on what he's done that makes him a criminal. If he has had any kind of criminal behavior, somebody let me know. As far as I know, that's not a concern. But I could be wrong. Maybe I just missed it. I don't watch any of his content outside of I watched his video with Casey almost a year ago, but that's about it. Anyways, Amberlynn, of course, is taking the theatrics about reaction channels, the hyperbole of reaction channels, because she's definitely said this about other reaction channels before, but she said, out of every reaction channel, he is the worst! Which is just like, so happy to pass that crowd on, because I'm pretty sure she said I was the worst at one point. She said, oh lordy, it's Jordy is the worst at one point. I think she's even said it about Alex's Shook, who used to be her fave. So, like, literally any of us could be the worst at any given moment, but happy to pass the title on to Mr. Snowflake right now. Anyways, he is the worst and spreads more lies than times he changes his cardigan and washes his germ-infested beard. Boy, bye. Biggest narcissist on YouTube. The fact that she wants to, like, talk about him changing clothes and or washing any part of his body, any part of his body, is fascinating, considering some of the things she's like actually admitted to about her own hygiene habits on YouTube, and like our own ability to see how little she changes her clothes sometimes. Like, this is a woman who will literally go to bed sleeping in all of the clothes that she wore out and about all day and all night, you know? Like, a girly pop who goes to bed in a full face of makeup. Like, she's not really got any, you know, ground to stand on here in her little tiny ballet flats to be talking about somebody else's hygiene, nor their clothing choices and or their ability to change their clothes, you know? You feel me? Another person said, how do you feel about people saying you have a pretty face? Do you think it's backhanded? And she said, it's only backhanded if it's met with for a bigger girl, because anyone can have a pretty face, even thin people. I always love when she's like will say something like, anybody could do this, even thin people. Because usually it's like in relation to something bad somebody's saying about her. So it's funny now that she's also saying it with like, anybody can have a pretty face, even thin people. Anybody can have an ugly face too, I guess, with that logic. All right, here's a 2-for-1. Somebody said, are you truly unbothered by the haters? And she said yes. And then another one that said, do you think reaction channels are hard on you because they actually care? And she said, the only thing they care about is their monthly paycheck and constant validation from their audience. And she's certainly looping in everyone together. You know, like, of course they're interested in their monthly paycheck, just like she is, right? Like, she will say later that, like, she's concerned about getting paid. So there's that. But, like, the part that I would separate myself from here, because, yes, like, I do need the bills paid. Like, I do come here as an income source. So, just for the record, I've never shied away from that. I used to work a full-time job, too, and I don't do that in addition to this anymore. So I used to answer or respond to things like this a little bit differently back then because I didn't have to come here for a monthly paycheck, but now I do. All right. No denying that. But the thing about constant validation from their audience, maybe that applies to some people, but I have talked extensively on here that I'm not here to particularly get validation from anybody. I certainly want my audience to enjoy the content, but I also don't think that inherently always means that, like, everybody who's watching my video has to agree with every single thing I say, right? And so I think because of that, because I like keep that in mind when I make content, that there's a lot of times that people don't always agree with everything I say, but they say, I enjoy your point of view, I enjoy hearing a different perspective, I enjoy the way you shared your point of view, the way you shared it was very entertaining. Because a lot of times, like, I've been very empathetic towards Amberlynn, and, you know, that's not everybody's favorite thing on the internet. In fact, I've gotten flack for it before. And vice versa, I've gotten flack from her as well. I say things because that's how I feel about them. Regardless of what she or my audience think. Like, I think the thing that makes my channel what it is me coming here and being authentic to what I believe. and how I feel. And a lot of that does come from a place of concern for Amberlynn, to be honest. I mean, not every single piece of criticism or feedback I give her is a place of concern for her, because some of it's like silly and goofy and like about the shit she buys, you know, like some of it is pretty low stakes. But when it comes to things like her mental health and her health in general, and I give her feedback, like, I do think that comes from a place of care, because I care about everybody. Like, I care about people. Sorry. Sue me! I'd rather be too nice and too caring than be mean and, like, not give a shit about how people feel, you know? Anyways, somebody said, was Alexis married when you met her? And I don't actually know entirely what this is about. I feel like I saw some rumors. I don't know if they came via Mr. Snowflake or not, but I saw, oh, wait, no. I do remember where I saw it. It was not Mr. Snowflake. What's her name? What's her name? Erica/Valentine's wife that Amberlynn participated. So Amberlynn participated in an affair with Erica/Valentine, right? Like, she knew Erica was married. Erica's wife, Brittany, had posted something suggesting that Alexis was married when she met Amberlynn, or something along those lines. So that's where that comes from. But anyways, Amberlynn said, Alexis has never been married, so no. Alexis was single when she first messaged me. Another person said, has Tommy seen the Crumble Cookie video? I can't believe months later we're still talking about Crumble Cookie. If so, what does she think of it? And Amberlynn said yes. Everyone who has seen it has liked it. So the same goes with her. How many fucking people have seen this damn Crumble Cookie video, girl? And then she said, low-key thinking about posting it on my own because it's not as naughty as people are making it out to be. Which is interesting because it's your own friend, Alexis, your own new friend, again, Alexis, who was the one that suggested that it was super naughty. So, you know, if you're upset about that in any kind of way, maybe address that with Alexis. Another person said, even with everything you packed, did you feel like there were other things you forgot? Yeah, like the whole rest of her house, because she's moving the fuck in with Tommy. But no, she said, I wished I would have brought my journals, 100. I guess she didn't consider that over the now month long that she's been there, that she might want a journal. She didn't take that into consideration, I guess. Somebody said, my mom and I communicate via Facebook Messenger and we talk nearly every day. It's normal. People are dumb. And she said they're bored and need drama but don't have any. But I don't have any, so they have to create it. Which, to some extent, I agree. To some extent, I agree. I don't think, like, I think also, like, people keep up with Amberlynn as a hobby. And so, like, they're not necessarily bored with, like, their life in general, but they just, like, regularly check in on her, and that doesn't mean that they, like, have no life outside of her, and they're just obsessed with her. Like, I think it's just like, oh, they're looking for something that's going on with Amberlynn, and since she's not posting anything, they're looking for it. Like, I do agree with her there. Like, they are, in fact, looking for things because she's not giving them anything else to look at. She said, constant false outrage. My mom and I communicate via Messenger because we can't video each other unless we use Messenger because she doesn't have an iPhone and I do. Which I don't even think is necessarily true anymore. I think there was an iPhone update that fixed that problem, but also that would make more sense to me now, if that's the reason. I had not remembered this message when I said all that shit I said like 10 minutes ago, so please forgive me. Also, this is such a long video already, 35 minutes. Could you imagine how much content she could have gotten out of all of these questions if she just answered this on a video on her own YouTube channel, and how people would have watched it probably? But here we are. I'll make the content instead, Amberlynn. they can get it from me. Somebody said, do you ever feel depressed about your life? And she said, I used to at one point, but right now, not at all, and I haven't in a while. So what she really means there is she hasn't felt depressed since that week where Tommy broke up with her and then unbroke up with her. Because if you'll recall, she said at that point that that they were both the mentally lowest they had been in a long time. So what she really means when she says, I haven't in a while, she means like, I haven't in a couple months. So she's basically healed. Her depression is cured, is what it sounds like. Oh, that's just a picture of me. I didn't think I took any pictures while I was taking all these screenshots, but I think I wanted to see what I looked like wearing my friend's sunglasses, and I was in the backseat of his car, so I took a photo. My bad, that wasn't supposed to be in there, but I looked cute. I was having a good day that day for the most part. Also, I don't know at what point, it's possible some of these might have been from different days and different question prompt things, so these are we're just going in chronological order of me taking the screenshots. Somebody said, how long are you staying in Minnesota? And obviously what this person meant was, how long are you staying in Wisconsin? They just got the state mixed up. But of course, snarky Lynn had to be like, never been to Minnesota a day in my life. I remember seeing that and I was like, I have to screenshot this because this is the fucking shit that Amberlynn does. She knows exactly what people mean when they ask the questions they do. She knows exactly what this person meant. And she was like, what do you mean? I've never been to Minnesota a day in my life. Girl, stop. You know this person meant Wisconsin, and how about you answer the question? How long are you staying there? Are you never leaving? Are you moving in? Jesus. Now this one's important for a number of reasons because I know it comes up later in a different question. But somebody said, what's the reason you don't believe the moon landing happened? And is this still recording? I hope this is still screen recording. Because I just looked up and usually there's like a little thing. A little thing up there that says it's recording. And I don't think I see it on my phone. So I might end up having to go in and upload every single one of these fucking screenshots and manually put it in anyways. Oh, gosh. This is a long video. It's fine. It's fine. What else am I doing today? Nothing. Actually, I went to the Chicago Marathon this morning. My friend's dad was running in it, and I went with her to watch and, like, cheer him on. But anyways, what was the reason that you don't believe the moon landing happened? And she said, inconsistencies in photos. Technology supposedly being sufficient then, but not now. USA wanted to win the space race against Soviet Union, so they staged it. 100. Neil Armstrong's responses in interviews when asked if he really went to the moon. Constant conflicting statements from astronauts and people who work at NASA. Videos/images show evidence of manipulation. The lunar module looked like a toy, so I question the landing/traveling capabilities. Like what? The list can go on and on. And honestly, like Amberlynn's the perfect example of like a conspiracy theorist because all of these are basically things that she's saying and admitting like, I don't understand how these things work. And so I'm just going to believe that it couldn't have happened. Like, she's like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, the thing that they were traveling in looked like a toy. So, like, how did it actually work? like, yeah, you don't know shit about any of this. Like, of course that you don't have any clue how it works. That doesn't mean that it didn't actually work, you know? But besides the point, let's keep going. Somebody said, if your life were to be made into a movie, which actress would play you and Tommy? And she said, Tess Holliday as me and Kristen Stewart as Tommy. I think I should play Tommy, if we're being honest. I'm the Tommy stunt double. Let me play Tommy. But also, a fun fact about Tess Holliday, just because she comes up in this corner of the internet every once in a while, the tattoo artist who did this narwhal, they have tattooed Tess Holliday. Isn't that kind of crazy? Isn't that kind of nuts? Anyways, let's keep going. Somebody said, where's Twinkie? And she said, I've gotten this question 8,214,302 times today. I've had Twinkie for 9 years, and I've never been without her. Same with my other two fur babies, Wasabi and Rarity. That's not true. You have been without Wasabi and Rarity, because when you moved into Beck's apartment with Eric and Ricky, they were only allowed to have 3 pets total. And so you fully gave Wasabi and Rarity away to Rafe and Hannah. So you have been without them. Somebody reminded me of that, which obviously I didn't forget. I just hadn't thought about it in the context of all of this traveling and stuff like that. But somebody had reminded me of that when she was saying in one of her videos that, like, her animals get so anxious being away from her. And it's like, did you consider that when you literally gave Wasabi and Rarity away? Like, did you consider that? Did you think about that back then? But I guess so much time has passed, she hasn't thought about what that might look like. She goes on to say, they'll never be without me. It's also funny because people were pissed when they thought I abandoned them in Oklahoma. But when they found out that wasn't true, they were mad I brought them to Wisconsin. And now that I'm on a slight hiatus from uploading, people are back to assuming I abandoned them. Give it up. I don't abandon my pet. I don't abandon my pets. I never will. It's not who I am. Which actually is so funny because you did. You did actually abandon your pets. You did fully, like, I'm wondering if she just thinks people forgot about the time that she literally gave Rarity and Wasabi away. And the only reason she took them back is because some people from the internet helped give money to Rafe to get Rarity fixed at a vet, and Amberlynn was pissed and went and took them back from Rafe because she didn't want people from the internet to pay for Rarity getting fixed. So if you have any questions about it, I know I have videos covering it on my channel, and certainly probably other reaction channels do, but it was a thing that happened in probably 2018, 2019? One of those. Sometime around there. Another person said, do you think people treat you differently because you're bigger? And she said, I know they do. I'm treated differently at 350 pounds versus 460 pounds versus when I was 570 pounds. So many people are fatphobic and some don't even realize it. It's a sad reality. Someone's size should never be the deciding factor in how they're treated, but it's my reality. And I think that's certainly true. I believe that she is probably definitely mistreated by some people on the internet. The only issue I take with it is that she blames that on any criticism that people have of her. Like, she thinks that she could get by with some of these things as a skinny person, and she thinks that the only reason people are treating her this way is because she's fat, and I really don't think that that's the case. And also, at least when it comes to, like, the internet, I don't think I was even actively, like, following her when she was 350 pounds. But, like, her actions and behaviors on the internet since she was that skinny have been massively different and massively changed over the time. So, like, to even compare, like, how the internet treated her then when she was not doing some of, like, the problematic things and behaviors to when she's been heavier is kind of crazy to me, but here we are. Another person said, how come you only post vlogs when you need money? And she said, this statement isn't true at all, but the idiocy needs to be called out. Imagine feeling so privileged that you ask someone why they are working in 2024. Shit's expensive. People need money to survive. So one thing that's interesting about this is earlier you might recall that she was like, reaction channels only care about their monthly paycheck. But now she's like, listen, people have to work. People need money. People need money. So that's funny. But also it's another example of her just, like, completely missing the point of the question. People are trying to say, like, hey, bestie, it seems like you're feeling comfortable with, like, the amount of money you have in the bank right now, and you don't feel obligated to post on the internet. That's what people are saying. It's also interesting because I think she assumes that, like, all of the people that are upset that she isn't posting are just, like, haters. But I would imagine there are, like, people who genuinely care about how she's doing, who are concerned that she is just not posted for however long, you know? Like, there are people who are probably concerned that it's been, like, 2 weeks almost since she last posted on the internet. And even that content was, like, pre-recorded content, right? So she really hasn't posted anything like up to date in a long time. This is another Mr. Snowflake one. This person said, why did Mr. Snowflake say you cheated in your relationship? I'm so confused. Which I don't know what that's particularly about. I don't know of a time where she specifically cheated in a relationship for sure, but we do know that she's happy to participate in somebody else's extramarital affairs because she fully was happy to continue a relationship with Erica, even though Erica was married and she knew she was married and that it was a problem. But anyways, Amberlynn said, because he lies to his audience, but it's okay if the lie is something awful about me, right? Another person said, hey girlie, hope you're going good. Hope you're going good. Was it worth everything with Alexis and Erica to be where you are now? And she said, yes, 10,000%. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be in this moment. Another person said, how would it affect your YouTube if there was suddenly no more reaction channels? Which this is interesting because I was contacted a few weeks ago in the midst of everything crazy happening in my life. And I don't know if this article is still happening or not. I need to reach out to the person who asked me for comment and things like this. But I was reached out to do an interview about Girl World in general. It was like a reporter who reports on like internet pop culture things. And they were curious in a world post Nikocado Avocado, like in all of his shenanigans. She was interested in doing a story about like this niche corner of the internet with like Chantal, Amberlynn, Girl World et al. And like the symbiotic relationship between like the creators and the reaction channels. And my thoughts on this is like, I think most reaction channels are very cognizant of our relationship with the people that we cover and knowing that like, yes, our content is based around these people and without their content, like we would have to find other people to cover, which like also so many of us do. Like so many people do cover more than just Amberlynn. I think most people do, or at least most of the big ones that come immediately to mind. Like, oh lordy, it's Jordy. I know he covers occasionally like the Doherty Dozen. He covers Eugenia Cooney, Foodie Beauty, amongst other things here and there. Alex covers a lot of other people too. Like I've seen him cover Glitter and Lasers. He covers Chantal. Mr. Snowflake has many different documentaries. I don't know if you can call them that, but many like long form video essays about many different creators on the internet. And certainly I cover more than Amberlynn. Like, I literally just covered the 1,000 Pound Sisters. I cover Chantal. We've talked about Life Plus Cindy. And I have a whole Twitch channel that doesn't cover Amberlynn at all that, like, many people love and enjoy and check out the re-upload content over on my second YouTube channel, right? I say all of this to say is, I think we're, like, as reaction channels, I don't want to speak for everybody, so I'll speak for myself. I feel very cognizant of, like, what I owe to Amberlynn. I feel like I always have. I've always been considerate of that. And also, like, if she stopped posting content tomorrow, like, I will go on and do other things. And maybe my channel won't immediately be as successful, but, like, I have a base of people who enjoy my content, love my content, will watch me talk about anything. Anyways, all of that rambling to say, she said, they need me. I never needed them. I was here before them. I'll be here after them. We should be asking, how would it affect reaction channels if there was no more Amberlynn? I don't think she should be asking questions about what will happen if there's no more Amberlynn. Like, that feels a little dark, honestly, truly. But I do think that, like, she does benefit to some extent from us, because I don't think that, like, without us talking about, you know, like, some of the more mundane things she does, I don't think many people would be interested in her content, to be honest. and like, even some of us, I don't think are interested in I'm interested in all of it, to be honest, but I don't think every reaction channel is even interested in every single thing she posts. So, I don't know. I think she does benefit from us. That's what I told the person that I talked to that, like, interviewed me about it. I don't think she's ready to admit that she somewhat benefits from us. I certainly think she could exist without us, for sure. I do think she does get some benefit from it, just just to be honest with you. I am talking so much that I did not anticipate this video going so long. Somebody asked, how long have you lived in Oklahoma? I thought I was caught up, and she said, it's been a year now. Time has completely flown by. Feels like just yesterday I was terrified to live on my own, but then I learned that I love it. She loves it so much, she's currently squatting in Tommy Salami's home in Wisconsin. She said, or somebody said, where did you leave the pets when you went to the hotel? And she said, one of Tommy's friends came over and kindly took care of them for us, thankfully. We were only gone for about 16 hours. And again, this is probably something, if she was like, strategically thinking about the things that people get frustrated about, and especially since she had just had the whole incident of like bringing them the whole 19 hours all the way and people thinking that she might have abandoned her pets, she could have easily said that. She could have easily said in a video, like, one of Tommy's friends is going to come stay with the animals while we have a night out in Milwaukee with Alexis and her girlfriend, but she didn't. Somebody said, why write an essay instead of just posting a pic of you and Twinkie? Such a shit liar. And then she said, is the lie in the chat with us? Which, like, also, I don't even know how posting a picture really proves anything either. Like, not to discredit Amberlynn, but to this person's question, like, she could literally be pulling a picture from wherever. Like, how does this help you? You know, unless she's like filming a video and holding today's newspaper, how do you even know that these are current pictures, you know? Another person said, they weren't asking why you post for money. They're asking why you only post when you need money. And Amberlynn, who famously is always missing the point with these questions, says, in response to this person, I think you're missing the point. I'd like to reiterate that the statement they're insinuating isn't true, but if it was, or is for anyone in the USA, you must have some privilege to not need a job because people need money to survive, and to survive you need to work. Most people don't show up to work just because they want to. They show up because as humans, we need money and we have to. I'm more than positive the original person bringing this up also goes to work to make a living. So wouldn't it look idiotic for me to ask him, why do you only work when you need money? And she's not wrong. Like, yes, most Americans only work because they have to. Like, most Americans work in jobs that they don't want to be working in, and they only show up because they have bills to pay. And also, Amberlynn is famously the person that's always out here saying all these things about how she loves YouTube. Even if she wasn't making money on YouTube, she would keep posting on it because it's like her dream job and blah, 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 blah. So I think that is what people are getting at. They are getting at the fact that you have not posted on your YouTube channel for nearly 2 weeks, and it seems like you're only posting because you need money, not because you actually love what you're doing. That is the long and short of it, Amberlynn. Somebody said, and I didn't even know this, but why did you turn comments off from your last vlog? And she said, because the fat shaming of Alexis on my channel wasn't gonna fly. So I didn't even know she turned the comments off because I usually watch the video and then move on with my life. So I haven't gone back to see that they were turned off. But also that's really funny that she's saying because of the fat shaming of Alexis. When Alexis fully posted a TikTok, I shared it in the last Amberlynn video I did. She fully posted a TikTok that was like, I can't believe you all think that I'm as fat as Amberlynn, bitch, where? And it's like she's upset, Amberlynn, that people are comparing herself to your size. Like, that's what she's upset about. And you're over here concerned that people are fat shaming her in your comments. And like, she's literally saying like, oh my God, I can't believe y'all would think that I'm as big as Amberlynn. That's how crazy this is to me. But listen, I don't understand your friendship to begin with, so whatever. And then somebody said, no, you turned off your comments because you couldn't handle them. And she said, if you've been watching me long enough, you'd know I don't ever turn off the comments unless there's a very good reason. If a friend of mine asks me to turn off the comments because of their mental health, I'm instantly doing it, period. All right then, girly. Somebody said, what do you usually journal about? She said, feelings and thoughts I had that day, updating things in my life, like storylines of stuff I'm going through. Like the fact fact that she thinks about her life as having storylines. Like, girl, get off of YouTube if you're thinking about your life in the context of, like, storylines. Storylines. Like, this is the fucking Real Housewives, or this is, like, a fucking made-for-TV movie or something. About people in my life, what I did that day, etc. I genuinely always have something to journal about. Oh, thank God. You previously said you've had Twinkie longer than Rarity/Wasabi, but that isn't true, ? And she said, I've had Wasabi the longest, but Twinkie is the oldest, so I simply misspoke. Another person, again, here's the thing about Mr. Snowflake again. Why do you hate Mr. Snowflake so much? He's the nicest out of all of the reaction channels. And she said, he has said/lied about some awful shit, but the worst of all is him saying a 12-year-old child is lying about being molested. He can rot. Why do you only respond to the negative questions? And I do think this is interesting because somebody said that in response. I haven't responded to comments, like, consistently in a very long time. And with the 1,000 Pound Sisters video, I was like, let me get on here and respond to a few. I'm feeling up to it today. And I did, I responded to multiple, and I responded to one that was, like, negative, and I just genuinely thought it was funny, so I responded, LOL, okay. And somebody was like, oh my gosh, Zach, why are you only responding to the mean ones? And I was like, I responded to one mean one, but I also responded to ones that weren't mean. And so I do sometimes think, like, if that's all you see, sometimes it can feel like that. But then I'm, like, thinking about it in the context of what Amberlynn's doing, and I'm like, no, she really has. Like, as we've gone through these all together as a family today, she really has responded to a lot of negative ones. And it's interesting that, you know, she's talking about feeling in that TikTok that I shared at the very beginning of this video. She was talking about feeling like, she was being bullied, and that's, like, why she wasn't posting on the internet right now. And yet she's, like, sitting here subjecting herself to answering, like, rude and mean questions about herself. And so I'm just like, make it make sense. Anyways, she said, I normally don't. That's not true. She often does. I normally don't, but I do allow myself some room to explain / stick up for myself on days where I feel it's needed. Fair enough, Diva. Respond to whatever you want. Now, this is one where you gotta remember that moon landing one. Because I didn't even realize, I don't even know how people would notice that she was using AI. But anyways, somebody said, are you using AI to respond to these questions? And she said, no, but it's weird you ask because I did use it today. So what do you mean, no, I'm not? What do you mean, no, I'm not using it? I did use it today for the moon landing question, LOL. It genuinely helped me bring all my thoughts together in one place. I also didn't want to say anything that wasn't backed with facts. Side note, AI is low-key starting to freak me out. I also would like to ask if the facts are in the room with us right now. Like, are the facts about the moon landing in the room with us, Amberlynn? Because I have a lot of questions. And then she posted another... Wait, did I? I surely took more screenshots after this. Anyway, she posted another one, and I'm just showing you this because she is, like, going back to saying, like, I'm only going to post the anonymous responses because it's too much work for me to do all of that I was doing before. Somebody said, will you respond to Mr. Snowflake's recent video on his Under the Hood account? And she said, I do not and will not watch his videos, which I'm sure is not the truth because she said that about my channel before too, and she absolutely has later confirmed that she watches my videos. Everything I see and hear is through the grapevine. I even had to go as far as clicking hide this channel on YouTube because it kept popping up in my recommendations. Out of all the time he has been on YouTube, I've only ever watched maybe 5 of his videos, and that was back when I was with Feline. So it's been a hot minute, and it'll stay that way. So no. So no. No, I don't watch his videos except for the 5 or so that I did watch once upon a time. Do you play any games, table games at the casino, or just stick to slots? And she said, I just stick to slots. I've wanted to play roulette, or whatever it's called, but I haven't gotten the chance. Why is that so funny to me? Why is it so funny to me that she doesn't know what that's called for sure? You got it right, Amberlynn. That is a game that you can play at the casino. Somebody said, what's your obsession right now? And she said... Listen, everybody's allowed to like whatever they like. Like her interests are just so they either span like childlike to like old lady. And this is giving grandma. You know what my grandma liked to do? Word searches. Okay. So Amberlynn's current obsession is highlighters slash word searches. She said, or somebody said, do you think people confuse your kindness for weakness? That's kind of the vibe I get. And she said, maybe, but kindness is never weakness. Neither is sensitivity or empathy. Yeah, we know a lot about your sympathy bone, Amberlynn. You really have a lot of sympathy for people. Somebody said, any new diet plans coming up that you want to start soon? And she said, I'm thinking about it, yes. I don't know why that's so funny to me. I guess probably just because I just know she's always thinking about starting a new diet plan at probably any given time, even when she's currently on one. Somebody said, are you ready to experience / deal with snow this winter? I think they're trying to allude to, you're going to be in Wisconsin. Snow's going to be awful. And she said, I've dealt with snow for the last 13 years of my life. It snowed in Virginia and Kentucky, and it snows in Oklahoma. I hate it. Which, like, ma'am, first of all, if you are going to be in Wisconsin this winter, Wisconsin snow is, like, real fucking different than Virginia, Kentucky, and Oklahoma snow. I can tell you that as somebody who lives near the border of Wisconsin. So, like, prepare yourself, Miss Ma'am. Make sure you got the right shoes on if you're going to be in Wisconsin when it's snowing, okay? Somebody said, how do you and Tommy handle all the hate? And she said, I've been dealing with it for so long that I'm used to it. Kind of like exposure therapy. It's clearly working for you to the extent that you're taking a 2-week break from YouTube because of it. Just something I'm numb to at this point. I don't know how Tommy does it, though. She's new to it, but she's also strong, has a whole life outside of the internet, and she's genuinely a good person. So she's able to be cognizant of the fact that the hate doesn't define her at all. What does define her? Is it the feederism? Is it participating in feeder content? What would you say defines Miss Tommy Salami? Somebody said, how are you tonight? And she said, it's currently 6:30 a.m. I woke up about an hour ago, but I'm good. Trying to make a to-do list of what I need to do today. Did I take this screenshot today? I don't remember when I took this, really, at all. Somebody said, do you read all the questions asked? And she said, no, I don't. I just randomly scroll and pick. If it's too awful or just annoying, I won't reply, which is why she's replied to all of these today. All of these questions we've read through today are all not too annoying or too awful. She said, I won't reply, I'll block. If it's too personal or something I don't feel like talking about, I also won't reply. But normally, just a random scroll decides on what I answer. And then she said, have you tried any cheese curds in Wisconsin? Squeaky cheese is the best. And she said, I've tried cheese curds from Culver's. So damn tasty. Which, like, don't get me fucking wrong. I love Culver's, but, like, you're in Wisconsin. You could get cheese curds from a lot of places. I'm like, why not? And also, like, the cheese curds out at Culver's are, like, fried, which are, like, a delicious way to eat cheese curds. But I'm like, also get some not fried cheese curds, because that shit is also so good. Like, when they're talking about squeaky cheese, you don't get to experience the squeaky cheese when you're biting into a fried cheese curd at Culver's. You know what I'm saying? But here we are. Who would have guessed that she would go to Culver's? Probably everybody. I respect you protecting your peace and taking a break. Thank you for doing these Q&As. And she said, of course. She said, yeah, I'm respecting my peace and doing these Q&As where I just got done explaining to you all how, like, sometimes some of these questions are so awful and so mean that I have to block people and delete them. But I'm protecting my peace right now by not posting on YouTube. She also got asked, have any fans approached you and Tommy yet? And she said, not Tommy, but approached me in front of Tommy? Yes, multiple times, even in front of Alexis. Oh, good for you. I've actually, since like this breakup thing, I've somehow ran into so many people who recognize me from YouTube to the extent that, like, I've kind of forgotten to mention every single person in a video. So if you've seen me, thanks for saying hi. I appreciate it. I'm thinking specifically also of I think the most recent one was Marie. It might have been Maria. She was so sweet. Like, we literally got on the bus together and she, like, talked to me, like, while we waited for the bus. She was great. But it's just, like, so funny that I'm in, like, this really weird place of my life and I've just, like, met so many people on the streets of Chicago who recognize me. And it's just, like, really made my day, and it's made my day brighter in most cases. So thanks for saying hi. If you have, I really appreciate it. Please feel free to continue saying hello. Somebody said, YouTube schedule is flexible. You should work when it suits you. That's one of the perks. And she said, definitely, and I'm very grateful for that and always will be. And I 100% agree, and I don't fault her for it. I just think that, you know, like, when I think about when I'm not going to be around as much and things like that, like, I think there are things you can do to communicate to your audience, like, what's going on. And I think she'd probably just be in a better place with some of this if she would just be upfront about, like, hey, I just need a break from the internet. I'll be back in whatever time, you know? Somebody said, what month did you send the crumble video? And she said, I made it / sent it to Erica in May, which, like, I think a lot of people had confirmed at the time because they lined up, like, the crumble cookies change weekly. And the particular cookie she had, like, came out in May. And a lot of people also said that it came around the same time that she was worried about being able to get a CT scan that would fit her and stuff like that, if you recall. But yeah, that was confirmed. Somebody said, will you do a taste test with Tommy trying your famous chili? And she said, yes, we plan on doing that, which I'm sure Tommy will love. I'm sure she will. It involves you making food and eating it, Amberlynn. She's gonna be on board, for sure. Another person said, are you the happiest you've ever been because Tommy doesn't oppose your lifestyle choices? I think this person alluding to the fact that Tommy's a feeder. And she said, I've been in 7 serious relationships and none but one opposed my lifestyle choices, and that was Feline. Everyone else just accepted me for who I was. If I wanted to lose weight, they supported that. If I didn't want to, they also supported that. So your question doesn't make much sense. Tommy wants me healthy and happy, so she absolutely supports me in losing weight. I wouldn't be with someone who didn't, period. She's even willing to lose weight with me. Which, like, we've also heard that story before. We've also heard the story before that her partners wanted to lose weight with her and this, that, the other. But it's also interesting because I don't think this person was even necessarily, like, trying to compare Tommy to other partners of Amberlynn's. They just said, are you the happiest you've ever been because Tommy doesn't oppose your lifestyle choices, not because they're saying that, like, other partners did. And I also think it's interesting that Feline was apparently the only one who, like, opposed her lifestyle choices. And also interesting to think about how, like, the breakup with Feline also happened simultaneously with Amberlynn's decision to give up weight loss surgery. I don't know. Things to think about. Things to consider. And another person, and this one is interesting to me for a number of reasons, but let me just read this to you. Another person talking about Mr. Snowflake. And they said, by the way, rich of Mr. Snowflake to call you a cheater. He was flirting with his Discord members while married. And she said, eek, yikes. And I think this is particularly interesting to me because Amberlynn gets mad when people run with rumors and false outrage for her. But this is a woman who says that she, like, doesn't watch any of Mr. Snowflake's videos. I would assume that means she's also not privy to what he may or may not be doing in his Discord with Discord members. And so, like, why is she just posting this like, potential rumor without any kind of, like, actual facts or things like that? Like, that feels very irresponsible of her, especially for somebody who's mad that people speculated on why she unfriended her mom on Facebook, you know? Like she is always also, like, the same way that she says that, you know, people would be okay with Mr. Snowflake lying about her because they don't like her. So if he's lying about her, they just, like, accept it and think it's fine. That's exactly what she does anytime somebody comes to her about something about a reaction channel she doesn't like. Like, she's done it to me. She's doing it right here with Mr. Snowflake, where somebody presented her with something negative about Mr. Snowflake, and she's like, wow, yikes. Like, it's so silly. It really is. And this is the end of the screenshots I have, because this is I have a picture in here of Nellie from the current season of Great British Bake Off, because I just really need to queen out with her. She is such a fun diva. I'm obsessed with her. She has not posted any new stories, so we are good. That is it. This has been an incredibly long video. Hi, divas. She actually did post far more Instagram Q&A stories, so I figure if y'all love this, we can do another one. I'll go start working on it today. And a lot of it covers things of like Feline and her throwing Feline under the bus. So yeah, potentially more to come. But this was already long enough, so I didn't feel like adding it in here because this is a very long video. I had no idea it was going to take this long, but I hope it's that perfect, stunning, amazing white noise that you needed today. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know your thoughts on all the things that Amberlynn had to say down below. Otherwise, I think that's all I have today. So if you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing down below. Make sure to hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. I love you all so, so much, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!